um, high performance center as well, and discussed with journalists that were able to go to Centurion to in Pretoria, that were able to attend it. He also gave a little bit of a chat to them and gave them some insight on the squad and his reasons behind certain selections and certain decisions with the squad. So on today's show, we're going to be reacting to that as well. And I'm also going to speak about the squad and the players that have been added, etc., to this particular squad. So that's what's going to be today's show. I also want to punt our interview with Riza Hendricks. We did an interview exclusively yesterday with Riza. And I want you guys to go and check that out because it was his road to the T20 World Cup and his feelings ahead of the World Cup as well as the West Indies series. He also spoke about the coach. He also spoke about Ryan Rickleton as well. Those type of things have all been covered in that particular interview, and I think it's an important one to go and look at. We've also done a couple of evergreen content shows as well leading up to this point as well, which you guys can go back and watch if you haven't been on the channel in a while. But subscribe if you're new, please. Those are the first things that you have to do. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos as well. I also like you guys to download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. Link is on the screen as well as in the description. And I'm busy putting together the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine, which will come to you guys this week coming. So stay tuned for that as well. If you subscribe, you'll get an email notification when the next issue is out, but you'll also get a link to all the back issues too. So please go ahead and become a part of that family. We're trying to grow that as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's show. I'm looking forward to discussing the squad with you guys. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your SA Cricket Show. I'm your host, Khalid Mohideen, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with South African cricket, all the major talking points that happen in South African cricket. And today we're going to be discussing the West Indies squad that is obviously going to tour the West Indies. And we have 3 games for you overseas. And it's going to be a preparation for the World Cup. And I think it's going to be a very, very important. The stakes are even higher now with the inclusions into the squad. It's for the first time ever that I feel that the coach is making all the right decisions. The right decisions with the squad, the right additions to this particular squad. I feel that having a training camp before this tour was very, very smart move by the coach and the coaching staff. I think so far he's making all the right decisions going into this campaign. And particularly with the additions to this particular squad, making it possible to bring key players, I feel, into the squad. And when I release the squad to you guys, you will see exactly what I mean because I will elaborate on that. So the additions to the squad are as follows. We have Quinton de Kock has been added. Anrich Nokia has been added, as well as Gerald Coetzee. The squad as a whole is Riza Hendricks, Quinton de Kock, Matthew Breedsky, Ryan Rickleton. Rassie van der Dussen has been elected as captain for this tour. Patrick Kruger in the all-rounder, Vian Mulder in the all-rounders category, and Dile Pekelkwaya as well. Spinners are Bjorn Fortuin, Ngaba Peter, Tebrei Shamsi, and seamers are Otniel Bartman, Lungi Ngidi, Anrich Nokia, and Gerald Coetzee. The additions. I think that Rob Walter moving for Quinton de Kock and bringing him into this particular squad is phenomenal. I think the reason is because he's been in terrible form. I don't think he's been in the form that we would have all hoped. And this is actually the perfect opportunity for a guy like Quinton de Kock to get back into form again and to work his way back into form and into that starting 11. Because some of us were even speaking about perhaps Ryan Rickleton having the chance to start if Quinton de Kock was having a terrible IPL and he made it to the playoffs and still didn't perform, and Ryan Rickleton had to perform in the West Indies tour. We were talking about Ryan Rickleton probably starting with Reza Hendricks, someone that he has a very good connection with at the Lions. And that is something that I think is still on the cards. I think adding Quinton de Kock to this squad, what that does for me and what that does for the team, I think it creates competitiveness. I just recently watched the 99 documentary of Manchester United winning the treble. And the competition that was created in the squad amongst those players going into the tournament, throughout the season, players never felt easy. They always felt that they needed to fight for their chance, but they were ready on the bench. Players like Solskjaer, Teddy Sheringham, etc., were ready on the bench, ready to come onto the field and perform for the team in very difficult circumstances. They were always ready to perform. I think Rob needs to create a sort of feeling like that amongst the side. And I think this tour, that we are missing some Proteas players that will walk into the starting 11, I feel that will create some sort of mentality that anybody's ready whenever they get given a chance. And I think that form and picking players on form, speaking to the players and making sure that the coach understands the mentality is going to be 100% crucial to creating a winning setup and a winning mentality within the squad. This West Indian tour is going to be so important to the likes of Otniel Bartman, who's fighting for a place in the side, to starting 11. I think it's going to be important to Anrich Nokia, who hasn't been in great form. It's a perfect opportunity for him to get himself back into form again. Gerald Coetzee, he can tone his bowling up a little bit more, try to be a little bit more economical. And I think in getting to that type of rhythm heading into this tournament, it's the perfect opportunity, I feel, for these guys. And I hope that we get to see maybe Ngaba Peter get an opportunity, Ryan Rickleton starting games. The guys that are on the fringes that are a little bit younger, I hope that we get to see them get an opportunity to play. So there is a lot of things to be hopeful about when it comes to this particular tour. Just to give you guys the team once again, just so that you guys can get an understanding of who is there. Reza Hendricks, Quinton de Kock, Matthew Bretsky, Ryan Rickleton, Rassie van der Dussen, Patrick Kruger, Vian Mulder, Antile Pechlikwayo, Bjorn Fortuin, Ngaba Peter, Tabray Shamsi, Otniel Batman, Lungin Gidi, Anik Nokia, and Gerald Coetzee. So what have you guys had to say in the live chat so far based on this team and what you guys think of this team? Let me know in the comment section. Dick saying hi, long time no see you, Khalid. How's it, Dick? It has been a long time. Good to see you back over there. Benita says, who are your four favorite to make it in the Super 4 for the World for the World Cup in the next 2 months? I back South Africa this time around. I think they have a very balanced team, a very a strong team, and I think they've covered all their bases with regards to the conditions that they could possibly face there. And I think they have all the right players. So I'm going to say South Africa. I'm going to say England, Australia, and India, the big four. I think they're going to be key once again. The reason I haven't thrown another subcontinent team is because it will probably replace South Africa, and I don't want it to compete against South Africa. Australia, you can never count out. England, you can never count out. And India, it's conditions that will probably suit them. PSV says, how did you look a bit thin? You lost your weight, it seems. Yes, I am. I'm intermittent fasting, and so I've lost quite a little bit. Good to know that you have actually noticed that. Thank you. Clock says, hello, Khalid. Love your work. Big up to you for building up a channel where players engage with you and the fans. Thanks, bro. Um, I don't know much about Peter, but when I found out that he's a leggy, I was so happy and genuinely I hope he goes well. We aren't exactly blessed with wrist spinners in SA, and they're so important now. And he was quite a find. There's a video on the channel as well where he speaks about his journey and a little bit about himself, and guys can get a little bit of information on that. Lawrence says, surprised not to see Stubbs in the squad. The West Indies series should have been perfect timing to trial him at 4. That is true. I just want to check what's happening with DC. Um, ah, interesting. So they don't have a chance to be in the playoffs. They've lost the opportunity to be in the playoffs. So that is a little bit surprising that he's not available um, for this. But I think that maybe they want to maybe try a couple of other things there. Maybe I think Coach Rob feels that he's seen enough of Stubbs. Stubbs had a very hectic season. Maybe wants to give him a little bit of a rest, perhaps. The warm up fixtures. Let me just try and get it for you quickly. The warm up fixtures have also been released for. Um, where is it now? I need to get into this. The warm up fixtures for the World Cup have also been released. There is a little bit of a shock in here, I feel. Personally, when I saw the fixtures, I was wondering what was going on, but maybe you guys can give me some extra insight into that. Let me just try to find it quickly. I have to get into my. I don't know if I can get it from. No, I can't. That's going to take too long now to do it from that side. Let me just get into the fixture list, guys. I'll just bear with me. I just need to find it quickly. Here we go. Warm up fixtures confirmed. Let me get into the. Yeah, let me just go here. I think this article will be able to give it to me. No, it's not. Where is this thing now? I don't want to share it from that. I want to share it from the site itself. Here we go. Found it. Let me just share that with you guys. Stop that first, and I'll get into the Rob Walter comments as well very soon. Let me just get the warm up fixtures for you guys. Okay. The ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 warm up match fixtures have been announced, scheduled from Monday 27 May to Saturday 1st June across the USA and Trinidad and Tobago. The venues hosting the 16 warm-up matches ahead of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2024 include Grand Prairie Cricket Stadium in Texas, Broward County Stadium in Florida, Queen's Park Oval, and Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad and Tobago. A total of 17 teams play the warm-up games, including South Africa, who are playing an intra-squad on the 29th in Florida. These warm-up fixtures will be 20 overs per side and will not have international T20 status, allowing teams to field all members of their 15-player squad. In departure from the previous cycles, teams can now choose to play up to 2 warm-up matches, depending on their arrival time at an event. The match between the West Indies and Australia at Queen's Park Oval, Trinidad and Tobago on Thursday, May 30, will be open to fans. Monday, the 27th of May, Canada will play Natal, and then Oman will play Papua New Guinea, and Namibia will play Uganda. Tuesday, Sri Lanka will play the Netherlands, Bangladesh will play USA, Australia and Namibia will play there. Wednesday, 29th of May, South Africa will play intra-squad game as well. And as you guys can see, that will be in Florida at 10:30. So obviously, I'm taking it that we're not going to play another one. We're playing an intra-squad one, which means obviously within the team. So they're going to probably pick 2 teams from a squad and let them play against each other. So it's a SA versus SA type of thing, warm up. So it's not going to be against a proper team, but we're obviously playing West Indies, as probably will be regarded as our warm-ups. Then Thursday will be, Afghanistan will play Oman as well on that day. Then Thursday, 30 May, Nepal will play USA, Scotland, Uganda, Netherlands, Canada, Namibia, Papua New Guinea, West Indies, and Australia. Then Friday, 31 May, Ireland will take on Sri Lanka, and Scotland will take on Afghanistan. And then Saturday, the 1st of June, Bangladesh will take on India. the and the venue still to be decided. So we're going to play an intra squad game, which I think is okay. I would have liked to play against a more competitive team, but that is how it is. Let me just get into some of more of your guys' comments. Benita says, I want to see Stubbs bamboozling middle over bowling lineup of top teams this time. Clock says that middle order of Markram, Stubbs, Klaasen, and Miller will put fear in any side. Hopefully, the openers can start well. It's the bowling that concerns me, particularly death bowling. If we pick someone like Neil Bartman, we won't really have that issue. Guys, please smash the like button. Also, subscribe if you're new. I think we can't overshadow Pakistan and England in T20s. They are doing quite well in T20 circuit, and also this time T20 World Cup would be very competitive than the previous ODI World Cup. Clark says, how's the intra squad warm up going to work for SA given the limited squad? It's going to be interesting. I don't know how they're going to do that and how they're going to actually do. I think they'll probably have everybody bat and then everybody bowl. I think that's kind of how it's going to be. I don't think they're going to actually play two squads per se. You know what I mean? I think everybody's just going to have a go until everybody's out, and then bowl as many players as possible. I doubt they'll even. I don't even know if they're going to actually chase or whatever and play it in that manner. So let's see how they approach it. I have no clue how they're going to set that up. Lawrence says most of the guys in the main squad will get good prep versus West Indies. Don't think the intra squad game won't be much of an issue. The competitiveness versus West Indies is good enough for me. Tunley says SA have strong batting, but I doubt the bowling, especially in death over. Janssen and Nortje leaks too many runs. It depends if they're going to even start Nortje. If Otniel has a great series, we could see Otniel, and he's very good at death bowling. Interesting to see what we won't add two more reserves. Could get risky. Let's see what they do, because there will be a final announcement of the squad, of course. I think a little bit after the West Indian tour, I think they probably will announce that. Maybe they'll add a couple of more traveling reserves. I have no clue, but it is a bit of a risk, I would say. They'd have to probably play a 9-a-side game in a way. So let's have a listen to what Rob Walter had to say and see if that question maybe was answered. I don't know. I'm reacting to it live with you guys. I try to do that always. So let's have a listen to what Rob Walter said in his presser. That's not really a presser. I guess it's more of an interview after the field with some journals.
Who's your captain for the West Indies, and why is that person going to be your captain?
Rassie is the captain.
Yeah.
Obviously, just brings a wealth of experience in our group. It is a relatively inexperienced group, barring obviously the three guys who are arriving from the IPL. So, yeah, just a guy we feel will be good in the leadership space, especially with the squad here, and offer huge value given the T20 cricket he's been playing.
And the guys who are arriving from IPL, who are the?
Gerald.
Guys, tell me what you guys think about someone like Rassie van der Dussen getting the captaincy for this important series. It's quite strange given that he's not in the T20 World Cup squad, but I would love to hear from him, because what a guy to actually still be a part of this and still want to play and travel to West Indies and play for his country, even though he wasn't selected. I love Rassie's character, and I think the decision to accept the captaincy and actually to play, I think I love that about his character.
Old Heinrich and Quinny.
And Rob, everyone else who's involved with the IPL then, are they also sort of coming in jibs and jabs, or is there like a set date when you'll have your whole World Cup squad?
A little bit dribs and drabs, obviously based on what happens with Sunrisers, etc., and Rajasthan, and then the guys coming back to South Africa. But we should have everyone at the 26th in the USA. We'll be traveling, obviously, after the game on the 25th to Miami.
What I guess have you guys gotten out of this few days that you've had together, and particularly for those players that are going to be in the US?
You mean West Indies? Or US?
Well,
Which
no,
one?
US,
Okay,
especially because you're going to have
Okay.
an extra time
Yeah.
with them, but for them, this was kind of
Yeah,
a start.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just really about getting back together, getting competitive, dialing in on our skills. Always continual work on connecting as a unit, but growing our skill sets, growing the self belief and confidence in our execution, etc. So, not everyone has had the luxury of the IPL competitiveness, and so it's just about getting back on that plane. It's a very very quick turnaround in the West Indies, given all the travel, etc. So we needed to do the bulk of our work here and not in West Indies.
Rob, I know this is a bit intangible, really, but just in terms of the IPL form of some of your players, are you sort of like actually satisfied, that it's been a more understated, satisfactory type of haul from your guys, instead of somebody like performing outrageously and perhaps flaming out at the tournament? So what I'm saying is that, are you sort of like content, that your guys have been solid without really being spectacular?
Probably underselling Tristan Stubbs' performance in the IPL, to be fair, and classy for the first half. But from my point of view, yeah, I mean, you got to take IPL for what it is. I definitely hope those two haven't used up all their runs. So, but no, I know the guys. I mean, we touch base regularly. I know the guys are working incredibly hard. I'd love for them to be playing, obviously, competitively. But there is a plus side to not playing, because playing all 14 games at the IPL plus playoffs can also be draining. So it's a balance ultimately, but we're also dealing with, in the most part, highly experienced guys who've played a lot of cricket. I trust that they'll hit the ground running.
And he's played, I mean, someone like Stubbs has played the most amount of games amongst the others that have been added to the squad, out of Quinny and out of Norkia, as well as Gerald. So yeah, he's really been a key figure for DC, playing 14 games for them. So that would have been a major thing. If I'm not mistaken, Rob said that they're going to be leaving on the 26th. And my understanding is, from the fixtures that I saw, that South Africa play against the West Indies on the 26th. So do they travel to the US straight after that game? I don't know how that's working.
Rob, just on the IPL, obviously a record-breaking tournament, scores we never really thought possible being made quite regularly. Do you feel that's going to transfer into the T20 World Cup, or is it just circumstantial at the IPL?
A bit of both, yes and no. I definitely think this will be a sort of turning point for T20 cricket, based on, sides are still getting 260 for 4, so but what the substitution rule has brought in is that you obviously have 8 good batters all the time, and so there's an ability to stay aggressive throughout. But the game is moving that way. T10 has moved the game forward in its own way. T20 cricket is moving forward. It'll just be whether teams are loaded enough to be able to continue batting the way that they have, or if you do get 4 wickets down, there has to be some form of rebuilding phase, you'd think. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting bowled out.
Don't even give T10 airtime, please, Rob. Oh my lord.
Related to Heinz's question, could there also be a negative for guys that haven't been playing regularly, in terms of a knock on their confidence, and how much work do you then need to do with someone in such a short space of time?
I mean, if I think of the guys who haven't been playing,
Kesh.
Kesh, Kesh has never got an issue with his confidence, because he bowls 1,000 balls a day. So,
Marco.
and Marco is also one of those guys who I feel doesn't necessarily have to compete to be at his best. Again, I know that he's working incredibly hard. It's not the same as competing. We appreciate that. But I think he's now been involved in T20 cricket enough to understand what he's about, and to be sharp when the time comes.
Rob,
Maybe that's what Marco needs as well, I feel, guys. Some time that he didn't play as much, so maybe he actually needs that break in a way. I know he's still part of the squad, except at SRH, and they might make it to the playoffs, or probably would. But maybe that's exactly what he needs, is to not be in competitive games, because he's played almost every single game possible in all formats from his debut as a player, as a 19-year-old. So he might need a little bit of a break, and maybe this will give him that to see the game from the sidelines a bit and see it from a different viewpoint, and actually have time for his body to recover properly.
Yes, to go back to high scoring games and the shift in T20. It's always been the case that attacking bowlers are crucial, taking wickets is important. But do you think it's shifted even more that way, given the change in the batting?
I mean, we've even seen it out here, today and 2 days ago. If there's an in batter at the death, it's very difficult to control. So taking wickets, is of utmost importance. I think if you look at our T20 success in the past, it's based on knocking the four top order batters out early, and so that is our competitive advantage. But that said, I think it's everyone's challenge worldwide to be able to manage the death better. So, we're just on that journey as well. But certainly, if you look again statistically, our bowling unit generally are wicket takers. Whilst the economy rates might be higher, they are wicket takers by nature. So we need to keep on that.
Clock asking, where do you bat Tristan to get the best out of him and the balance of the squad? 4 or 6? I'm genuinely intrigued. For me personally, I would bat him 4. I think that would balance out our side perfectly. Heinrich Claessen's used to playing at 5. David Miller's been destructive at 6. Those two positions, I think from 4 down is a little bit interchangeable. I think all those players can switch around and play in those different conditions and in the different positions. But I do prefer Tristan with a little bit more time at the crease. His 360 gram is incredible when he has a little bit more time at the crease. Arvind asking, Kali, bro, do you think Marco will be at his best at the World Cup? I do. I do think that this little bit of a break will give him the time to recover. I think a lot of his inconsistencies comes, I feel, with overplaying him. He's played all formats, played almost every single game since he started. So I think that it can be a little bit, it can be taxing on the body. NY Times Square says, I feel Miller should be a floater at 3 or 4. If you have to get out Miller at 3, Markram at 4, and vice versa. Miller can be, I think, all of them. I think Andy Klaasen, Miller, Tristan can bat anywhere in that top 4. But yes, based on situations of the game, having a lefty can give you that flexibility. But I don't think it's as necessary in T20 cricket as it is in other formats of the game. I think having the left-right combination in T20 cricket isn't as important as it is in Test cricket or as it is in 50 over ODI cricket. So it is nice to have that possibility, but I just feel that to get the best out of every single batter that we have, I feel that Tristan doesn't eat up as many balls to get himself in as David Miller does, in my opinion at least. I might be wrong, but that's just been my interpretation of him. Miller gets himself in when he gets a little bit more time. He does kind of eat up deliveries and can put pressure on the other batter, where I feel as Tristan does try to play a little bit more attacking and tries to get himself in by playing shots rather than just biding his time and eating up balls. So that's just my opinion on that. Let's continue.
What do you know about that ground in New York? Have you been able to sort of source any data on what kind of surface you're going to get there?
Well, there's zero data. Obviously, it's newly laid. Everything's new. It's drop-in pitches that have been, created somewhere else and brought in. In general, drop-in pitches tend to be quite, consistent. New Zealand, we play in drop-in pitches a lot. So our domestic experience there. So, and obviously the curators from Adelaide. Adelaide, traditionally, their wickets have been excellent. So, obviously you've got to factor conditions and all of that sort of stuff in. But I'd expect there'd be pretty good wickets. There'll be a few games prior to our first game there for us to have a look at the warm-ups there as well. So we'll certainly do our homework.
Rob?
I think that's something we all need to probably do, is keep an eye on the warm-ups that are going to be at the venues that we are playing at, so that we can get a bit of an understanding of what the conditions are like, because there isn't a lot of information out there about it. Like you just heard now, New York is going to be a drop-in pitch, and we don't really know what conditions are going to be forked up. I think they only started building the stadium like at the beginning or at the end of last year or something like that, something crazy like that. So, yeah.
Spinners. I saw today you bowled 3 overs of spin in the power play. You bowled a feature at the death. Is that a change in thinking? Is that something we can expect to see more of?
All conditions related. If you get something that's going to support the fasties, then they're going to run in and bowl. If there's an opportunity for spin in the power play, again it's down to balance. So if we went our 3-3 split, then there would have to be spin in the power play, just for it to balance out properly. So it's going to be either really. There's no one answer to the question other than the conditions will dictate.
Okay, that's a massive drop of information over there. A massive hint to that Rob's going to select his squad teams, his 11s based on conditions. So that can give us an indication of what type of lineups he's going to go out with over there. So let's see.
Rob, just on Aiden, it's his first big tournament as T20 skipper. I mean, he has obvious experience, and I was just wondering what he is, to you as a leader at the moment. How do you think he'll approach his first big tournament? And do you think it helped that he, even though it was by circumstance, he had a bit of experience at the World Cup in India last year, also, actually making the on-field decisions in the heat of, that type of battle?
Yeah, look, I mean, he's not new to captaincy. He's captained Sunrisers twice to win, in which, so it's not a World Cup, but certainly is for all intents and purposes big for us. The competition is strong. So, and he's captained South Africa along the way, a number of times. So he's not new to captaincy. I think we know Aiden's character. He's just unflappable character. He's pretty calm, pretty relaxed. The players respect him, and they respond well to him. So yeah, I think we're just going to see more of that. I'm obviously his support from a leadership point of view, along with the leadership in the team. And so we climb in where we need to ensure that all the bases are covered. But yeah, from a captaincy point of view in a big event, that certainly, that doesn't worry me.
On the squad, some other squads have named 4 reserves. Are you looking to add any? And what will determine that?
Well, the thing that determines is the space. So there's only 30 spaces to go to the World Cup. So we're taking 17 players. How the others are getting 4 travelling reserves, we'll leave that to answer. But no, we're only going to take the 2 travelling reserves. Obviously, we, based on the camps such as this, we have our next in line reserves that will be active. Most of them will be in West Indies anyway, playing cricket. So anyone who's likely to come in at any stage due to injury will be very active from a cricket point of view.
All right.
Okay, there we go. That's the announcement over there. That's why probably I didn't know about the extra players getting into the squad, because I haven't listened to this audio file yet, and that's where all those journalists would have gotten the information from. So yeah, that's what Rob had to say. I think some excellent points were made. I like the fact that he is considering conditions and going to be taking or choosing his 11 based on that, and from there that they will decide who they're going to play where. We're going to have to do some digging as a fan base. I feel I'll try to bring you some shows talking about the conditions. I know I've asked someone to write a piece about the conditions because he's based in the USA, so I felt that he might be able to get some information on that. So hopefully that can happen. And let's see how the West Indies tour goes. We will be doing preview shows for the West Indies games and review shows. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, if you're new to the channel and you don't know that we do those things, then subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell for all future videos. You'll get a notification when we go live with those shows as well. But to all the people out there, thanks a lot for tuning in. Just to give you guys the squad again for the West Indies tour. Riza Hendricks, Quentin de Kock, Matthew Breedsky, Ryan Rickleton, Rassie van der Dussen as captain in the batting department. Patrick Kruger, Vian Mulder, Andile Pechelkwai in the all-rounder department. Spinners are Bjorn Fortuin, Ngaba Peter, Tabray Shamsi. Seamers, Otniel Bartman, Lungingidi, Anik Nokia, and Gerald Kutsia. Guys, I want you guys to really enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your evening, please. Relax, take a breather. It's getting towards the middle of the month now, so I know you guys can't completely unwind, but try to enjoy your weekend as best as possible. There's a big day happening for sports fans on Sunday. For football fans, of course, the final game of the season, where champions will be crowned. And so we'll see what happens with regards to other information if we do get anything on cricket. But thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. Don't forget to check out our Riza Hendricks exclusive interview on the channel. You guys can go get it as well. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out.